As always, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. We need to talk about the CPI data that was released in the US last month, and the CPI data was not good. The inflation came in red hot. It went up to 7.5, and of course we're seeing pretty much the same things again. We're seeing high energy prices, no change in that. We're seeing now also that all items are starting to go up, because when we're looking into the details, we see an increase for food for 7%, 7%, especially meat, fish, poultry, eggs go up 12%. But of course, still the highest remains is the energy 27% up. Fuel oil is skyrocketing. I even didn't expect it to go up. Used price cars, they stay up pretty stable, 40%. So yeah, lots of what we're seeing now is, at first the inflation was driven by just a few items, used cars, energy, and now I'm kind of having the feeling that we're seeing an expansion. I think energy will be the first one to stabilize together with the used cars and trucks. But I'm not sure how long the rest of the items will still go up. So please keep watching and tune, see how you can cover yourself in from this rising inflation. First, let's have a look what is causing the inflation. Of course, it was caused by the COVID pandemic, one being the massive spend that especially the US did. So when you're handing out free money, people start spending, and at the same time we had a global supply crisis. So China was basically a little bit the factory of the world, and it was going in lockdown all the time. It's still going in lockdown all the time, as they chose a lockdown policy versus a vaccine and get natural immunity policy. So for Europe, it's also getting a red hot inflation, especially like especially like countries that are near Russia. You're seeing Estonia, Lithuania, Poland, and Latvia. These are the largest inflationary countries. That we're seeing. The United States is here as well. But these countries are not coincidentally surrounding Russia. And we are, as in Europe, we are very, very dependent on gas coming from Europe, and we are seeing huge energy spikes. I think, well, it's not Gazprom or Russia in particular, but during the pandemic, any producer of energy, they really had to scale down production really fast, because if you're pumping up gasoline that nobody is using, then then you actually have to pay to store that gas. We actually saw that during the pandemic. So you can't really blame them for scaling up production slowly, but that slow scale up of production has caused a really, really big spike of energy prices worldwide. And it's also, coincidentally or not, but it's falling together with Gazprom. Some are saying Gazprom is trying to put pressure on opening the Nord Stream pipeline. When we're looking at the most important pipelines in Europe, and we're seeing the Nord Stream 1 and 2, Gazprom really wants this pipeline to open, but first they have to be conform to German regulation. And the Yamal pipeline, it's not only being closed, even worse, it's going in reverse, which means that Germany is pretty much supplying right now Poland in gas, maybe even Ukraine as well. Even though they're not producing any gas themselves, they have a very limited amount of LNG port. Or what can I do to leverage the gas price? What if it doubles again? So there is a few things you can do. One thing is, of course, you buy locally. Start buying locally. That protects you from inflation. Go to farmers markets, buy seasonal vegetables and fruit, things that can produce locally in Europe, in US, or in your local town if possible, wherever you are, because yeah, that will generally be cheaper than importing things with supply chain issues. Of course, wear warm clothes when you're in the house, turn down your heating. So what can you do to cover yourself in rising energy prices? Except of course from subscribing to this channel so you get more videos like this. Guys, have a look at this. This is the energy ETF. So this is the total energy sector. And what are we seeing? Well, there is a 40% increase in energy prices, but there is also a 40% increase in this ETF. So a way to leverage increasing prices would be to invest the same amount of money into energy as you would normally pay for your gas bill, and therefore when your gas bill, your fuel bill, or anything else is rising, then you also benefit from that, from by your investment. So the idea would be that if the fuel prices go up, then your investments go up, but of course you're spending more money, so it would be a zero-zero operation. So that would be one way to do it. Other ways are, of course, just cut your spending by lowering the heating. But these are just some investment ideas, but it is definitely not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence, and remember, when we are looking at the long term, this market is extremely volatile, and in the long run, I do believe that some sources of energy will become obsolete. I'm talking coal in the short run, but also gas eventually, and fuel that will be replaced by clean energy like solar, wind, and eventually fusion energy. That's my long-term vision. So do your own due diligence. Please like, please subscribe, and see you next time.
As always, guys, this is just for entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice.